We don't know what this means long term, but his victory was so sweeping and so surprising, it reordered the Democratic race in a matter of hours.
Well, that didn't go as planned. So forget about the entire contested convention stuff, and let's talk about the results of Super Tuesday, and what it means for the future of both the Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders campaigns, respectively. To make it blunt, it was not a stellar night for the Sanders campaign, but not exactly horrible, as he managed to hang on to the biggest prize of the night: California. As for Biden and his supporters, it was a bit of a shock as the states he was projected to not even carry, which included Massachusetts and Minnesota, went into his column by the end of the night. The delegate count is narrow between the both of them, and although pundits would like you to believe that it's all over, the truth of the matter is that Sanders still has a chance in the race. It's not impossible, it's just improbable. And hell, if Trump can win the presidency, anything could really happen. In fact, in this election season alone, we've seen so many flips of the race, from Biden's campaign being dead in the water to it being revitalized yet again. No reason to be all doom and gloom right now.
Bernie is well in position to stage a comeback, but he's got to turn things around, and quickly. We're talking about days and weeks where he needs to shift the campaign in as dramatic of a way as Joe Biden was able to shift the narrative and the campaign in the dynamics in the final days before Super Tuesday.
Anything can happen, but the Sanders campaign needs to fight to stay alive and rethink its election strategy, as its campaign's core supporters won't be enough to have him clinch the nomination. He has to shift the narrative in time for the next crucial states that are voting come the rest of March. It's not an issue with his policies. In fact, you can even argue voters across the US find his policies appealing, judging from the exit polls taken. The real trouble is electability and the fear of losing to Donald Trump in the general election. The media has depicted Biden as the only one to defeat Donald Trump due to his centrist positions that it can appeal to all. And in order to change this narrative, the Sanders campaign must be able to form the idea that Trump will easily trounce Biden in the general election due to his voting records and various flaws as a general candidate. This includes his inability to finish a sentence.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing.
We've actually been seeing an effort recently, with Sanders trying to connect to the suburban voter and the core of the Democratic Party by releasing ads of President Obama praising his work as a senator. It's a little late, but it's better to start now than never. I mean, something drastic does need to happen. Sanders is challenging Biden to a debate on Medicare for all, but it's unlikely Biden will accept such a proposition due to the fact that he's a fumbler when it comes to the debate stage. Imagine Sanders and Biden going head-on. It wouldn't even be a contest. In fact, it'd be hilarious. However, the next debate is too far away, and by that point, Sanders will already be behind by the delegate count by a wide margin. The issue also delves within the voter turnout. Young people aren't showing up for Bernie like they did in 2016, and honestly, that's just a reality, and there isn't much we can do about it. As I said before, Sanders needs to expand his base, and targeting the core Democratic Party is what he really needs to get the job done. Look at the polls in Florida. Sanders has the potential of losing here by 40 points due to its older demographic. Sure, those numbers might not be accurate in regards to the final results, but Biden is trashing him with the older demographic. There needs to be a pivot, and not in terms of positions of ideology, but in chasing voters. Sanders has been calling out the neoliberals and corporates for decades, and he needs to bring that case to not just the young ones, but to everyone. It is to argue that Biden is in fact not the strongest candidate, but one of the worst candidates to go against Trump. The real risk for the Democrats is nominating someone who represents what went wrong in 2016. Someone who's similar to Hillary and worse, is less coherent than her. According to an article by The Atlantic, quote, Biden has not built a campaign apparatus that can win in the fall. A lot of his debate performances and campaign stops have elicited more cringes than cheers. Many would not crown Biden as the presumptive nominee without him demonstrating that he has the agility and equity as a campaigner to thrive in a long, grueling general election campaign. He needs a thorough test of his own. He has to withstand months of scrutiny as a frontrunner, and make sure voters and party leaders don't develop a case of buyer's remorse. Unquote. And if Joe Biden does lose in the general election campaign come this fall, all of the blame is once again going to be against Bernie Sanders and his supporters for not doing enough to ensure a Biden victory. History often repeats itself, but it's up for the individual to look back at the patterns and prevent them from reoccurring. As for the contested convention stuff I mentioned in my last video, it's real funny to think just how different the race was only 2 weeks ago, and it could be funnier to think where the race is going to be 2 weeks from now. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. I would appreciate it if you shared this video. It helps me out a lot and makes us grow as a channel. Until next time, I'll see you later.